Hello, my name is Jaredot, and today I'll be making a box out of polystyrene and wood for my metal shop tool. I want this box to be as small and light as possible so it's not a hindrance while I'm carrying it around school. First, I need to make the vacuum former. This part isn't what the project is about, so I'm going to skip over the details about it. You can find many tutorials on the internet about how to make one. For practice with a vacuum former, I used some toy cars and clay for molds. It took a few tries to get it right, and once I did, I discovered that the clay works great for what I needed it for, but the car's windshield melted a little bit. Now the vacuum formed the calipers, deburring tool, and scribe. Everything else I plan to keep in the hollow space in the lid. I'm using the clay to protect the sensitive parts of the tools and also to add finger holes. It turned out okay. I don't think I'm going to get much better results unless I use thinner sheets. Now with the vacuum forming done, I can move on to the box itself. I'm using some more scrap wood, which I believe used to be part of an old cabinet. Using the vacuum former sheet as a template, I know how big it needs to be. I got two pieces of sides, one for the lid and one for the base. I then used a scroll saw to cut the interior hole. One of them turned out nicer than the other, so I'll use that for the lid since the interior cuts will be visible. The vacuum form piece isn't quite deep enough, so I need to create a standoff where there isn't a gap between the lid and base. I then cut out space for the hinges on each iron sheet. With all the parts mostly done, I can attach the two wooden pieces together with a hinge. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the hinges to be perfectly even. Using a staple gun, I attach each plastic piece into place. Now the box closes nicely and the tools stay in place. Onto the lid. I found an old binder with a flexible shell that will work perfectly for the lid's lid hinge. I don't know what else to call it, there are too many lids. After turning the binder piece, I then tried to sand the box flat to hide my misaligned hinges, but that didn't work very well. It turns out you can't effectively sand polystyrene with a wood sander. I should have sanded the wood first before adding the styrene. The hot glue I originally connected the binder piece to the styrene lid didn't stay on, so then I went back to my old friend Staples. At least I'm not using duct tape, now we just need a locking mechanism. But I forgot to buy a small latch, so for now, I went with some wall hooks and a rubber band. It ended up looking terrible, so as soon as I could, I found an actual latch to replace it. I tried installing a new latch, but thanks to my misaligned hinges from earlier, the latch wouldn't hold. Latches this small are hard to find, so I decided to try making a Velcro latch. I bought some string and sewing needle and sewed the Velcro on. It took a few tries to figure out a good pattern, but once I got it finished, it worked surprisingly well. I forgot to sew on Velcro for the lid's lid, so I just used stick-on Velcro. This part doesn't have much load, so the glue should hold. And that's it, I completed the project. Works great, nothing falls out of it, and the white polystyrene is a great place to draw notes on. Someday, I might want to redo this project. It's a bit thicker than I want it to be. It takes up a little bit too much space in my backpack. I might also replace the metal hinges with something like this binder lid, because this works so well. And use thinner styrene sheets to get better definition around the tools. So maybe someday I'll remake it, but for now, I'm happy.